Okay, so the new abortion law in America, it's only in three states, I believe: Alabama, Missouri, and I forget the third one. But it's an incredibly anti-woman law. So for all the guys out there who have no idea about female anatomy or female biology, which definitely includes the fuckwits who wrote this law, a woman doesn't often know she's pregnant until 8 weeks, if that. So straight away taking away a lot of freedoms and just blaming the woman for the fact that she's a woman and she can get pregnant. This law would not happen if men got pregnant. Point blank, wouldn't fucking happen. But this law also ignores and has no exceptions for cases like rape. So if you are a guy out there and you support this abhorrent attack against women, imagine this. Imagine you have a 12-year-old daughter. The worst happens and she's raped. Your 12-year-old daughter now has to carry that child to term and then raise that child. Now in America, certainly in these states, Republicans who claim to be pro-life are also cutting programs that help raise children, that help life, which is batshit crazy to me. But this 12-year-old girl has now not only been scarred for the rest of her life, but the rest of her life has been ruined. All because a handful of men were so fucking moronic when it comes to biology that they just hate the fact that women have any kind of control over their bodies. And again, if men could get pregnant, this wouldn't happen. If the burden of responsibility was on the man, and let's face it, it takes two fucking people for this. If the responsibility was entirely on the man, and as a man, if you didn't wear a condom, you'd get 50 years in prison, that would never exist. But there is a benefit to this law. This law has forced a lot of women in particular to ask themselves why they are Republican. And it's always a good question to ask. Why do you support whatever party you support? Why did you vote for the last party you voted for? And that's a good question to always ask yourself, regardless of what country it is and regardless of what parties you tend to vote for. But the Republican Party has shown time and time again that they are very anti-women's rights. And Trump said himself Trump showed multiple times during his election in 2016 that he's against female rights. And that when it comes to abortion and things like that, he would pander to the evangelical fuckknuckles. So there is one small benefit. Now this law might get smacked down by the Supreme Court, but I mean hell, even some hardcore Republicans, right-wing, proper knobheads like Pat Robertson, even they've acknowledged how devastating this is going to be in future elections, because it really is. As much as the Republicans hate this notion, women actually vote as well. So they've lost a lot of votes for this. Probably not every vote, because there are still Republicans who are livid that Roy Moore, the paedophile rapist, didn't win the Alabama local elections, but we'll have to see. This is a horrible, horrible law, an anti-woman law that is being enforced in 3 states at the moment. We'll have to keep an eye on it and see where it goes.